Greetings and salutations. In service to the One, I am Amber Dawn Star, practical mystic, energetic activist, and for almost 37 years, master breathologist. Welcome back to my community and to my channel. Well, today is the full moon in Virgo, and that is a big happening. And there's so much more going on astrologically that I'm going to touch on those other items also, not just the full moon in Virgo. The 29th degree is the hardest degree in a chart. It's the most challenging in a chart. And exactly when the full moon went into Virgo, Saturn was at the 29th degree of Aquarius and moved into Pisces for the next 2.5 to 3 years with the retrogrades. It's about till 2026. So, what does that look like? Well, of course, moving into Pisces, Saturn is moving into Pisces, which is the last sign of the zodiac, and it's also the sign of selfless service. That's the highest aspect of Pisces. Where are you being selfless in your service to yourself and to your friends and family and to humanity in itself? So these are rewards, huge rewards in Pisces, as far as being able to be the selfless service, be the person that is actually doing this and being this for others. Now, you have to remember that when Saturn went into Capricorn, we had the collapse of the housing market. And Saturn has been was in Capricorn for, from 2008 till just last year, a couple years ago. When Saturn moved into Aquarius, COVID. Not funny. Funny, not funny. And now Saturn is moving into Pisces, which is the last sign of the astrological calendar. And of course, the positive side of Pisces is selfless service. It is the mystic. It is the enlightened one. Remember that most of our enlightened beings that we have heard about came in the Piscean age. Christ, Buddha, Krishna, Muhammad, they all came in the Piscean age to be the ones to show us that we are way more than we have ever thought ourselves to be. Well, now Saturn, the planet of tests and karma and discipline and time, is moving into Pisces. And so now it's, where are you in your life selfless service? That's the highest aspect of Pisces. Of course, the shadow aspect of Pisces is illusion and delusion and hiding and escapism and all kinds of addiction is the shadow aspect of Pisces. So right now, of course, we're just starting today. I mean, it went in exactly at the same time the full moon was at, about 4:40 a.m. this morning on the 7th, Pacific Standard Time. So we're just starting this journey with Saturn in Pisces, and you're going to be able to see where exactly you are being selfless in your life with your service, whatever it is. And this isn't about your talk, because a lot of people out there have the talk. Oh, we've seen that, haven't we, in the last few years? But this is really, really, really about the walking of your talk, about how you embody your soul in this life. That is Pisces. Your soul having a human experience. So where are you actually having your soul lead the way? Not your mind, not your ego, but your soul. And so, of course, we're going to be tested big time over the next almost 3 years to see where we're actually walking our talk. And believe me, there is going to be a lot of illusions shown as to what they really are. That they have been illusions, that they have been delusions, and personally, we're going to see where that affects us in our life, and of course, globally, we're going to see that. Because, we're all in this together, even though you might not feel that way, that, there's anybody out there that actually resonates with your frequency, but we're out here. Don't forget, we are here. And we are going forward in allowing ourselves to be what we say we are. And Pisces is all about that. So it's about you really stepping up to the plate now in your life. As far as where are you really walking it? Because there's no more BS about it anymore. And not only BS, I like backstory. What's your backstory? Are you still clinging to your backstory? Are you still clinging that, your ego has to be right in memory, in what you remember about your backstory? Some of what you remember is probably the truth. Some of what you remember isn't. Some of what you remember is not exactly what happened. I always say that, between someone else's version and my version, somewhere in between is the actual truth of what happened. So if you're still clinging in your life to the idea of being right, the idea of having control, the idea of pushing away people that really care about you and love you because they're not lining up to your version of the past, then Saturn in Pisces is going to shake you loose from those ideas. It's going to shake you to your foundation. And so you need to be prepared, as much as any of us can be, to step into your own power, your own alignment with your heart and your breath and your connection to Source, and be what it is that you came to be. Pisces is also about your destiny. Are you living it? Are you really living what you came here to do? Or are you just still fighting your own ideas about how things should be, about control? A lot is about control these days, within and without. And we are only as much as in control as we allow ourselves to surrender. I know that sounds exactly opposite, but surrendering is how we're going to get through this next 2.5 to 3 years. And of course, the Virgo full moon is putting a spotlight on all of these ideas and ideals that Pisces represents. So it's like, yes, Virgo is very practical, very organized, very succinct in its approach to things, and of course, it is also can be very critical, can be very self-critical, and very critical of others. So where do you fall in line with that? Can you forgive yourself? Can you forgive others? Pisces is about all of the aspects of ourselves that are our ideals, like love and light and forgiveness and compassion and understanding. and on and on and on. So if there are people in your life that love you and actually do love you and have shown up for you all your life, and you've decided for whatever reason that they're going to be pushed away and pushed to the side because they're not falling in line with your own ideas about how anyone should be, then you're going to be slam dunked by Pisces, because this is about restructuring your life and your ideas and ideals to go forward, because the next time Saturn moves into Aries, yikes. So be aware that there's going to be a lot of upheaval in the emotional world, in your ideas and ideals of what you've gone forward with. And that's going to happen within you personally, and that's also going to happen on a global scale. There's going to be a lot of people that would rather check out now than face what is coming. And there's a lot coming. This time has been foretold for centuries, and we are on the brink of a lot of change. Earth changes, political changes, individual changes, mass changes. We're on that threshold, and this Virgo full moon is highlighting all of that energy that's just about to step off into the unknown. I mean, Pisces is the last sign, and so all the backlog, everything that we've put off, everything that we've made wrong, everything that does not line up with our own personal beliefs and ideas about how things should be. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Third dimension. That's what's going to be happening over the next 2.5 to 3 years. We are in for a huge awakening on a global scale, and individually, of course, because that's where it starts, individually, to see where we have been kidding ourselves, where we have been in our own delusion about things, where we think that we're all that and a bag of chips, and we find out that, oh no, we're not, and those chips are stale and old and, full of chemicals that don't do anything for you. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. There's going to be a mass reconfiguration of what we think is important, what we have thought is important, and now what is really important. Because in order for us to move through this time, we're going to have to work together. We're going to have to forgive. We're going to have compassion. We're going to have to stop judging, because that's another aspect of Virgo, the shadow, is judgment. Lot of judgment about people. And, you don't know what's going on in everyone's life. You might see someone that you think is that way, and really isn't, has a story. I don't think there's anybody on the planet that's homeless that really wants to be homeless, and yet they're judged all the time. They're judged all the time for not having a home, and not having a job, and not having a car, and not having. Well, you know what? A lot of those homeless people did have. They had all that. And then they lost it all. And instead of coming back from that, they chose to go deeper into the rabbit hole. And, we are in the year of the rabbit. So that hole is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's about, Virgo full moon spotlighting where you are really being in your selfless service. the highest ideals of Pisces is the spiritual aspect, which is your true self. This is, the bodies that we have chosen to go through our lessons in. It's our vehicle. This body holding me is our vehicle to get through the third dimensional life and to get through what we need to learn while we're here. So it's just a vehicle. And now it's time to align, if you haven't, yourself, this vehicle, with your soul and its purpose here. What is your purpose here? What's your real purpose here? And follow that. And when you do that, you will stay in your alignment and go through what's coming with the lifeline to source. Even if you're not getting money, so yeah, don't count on that one too much longer either. If you know that you're doing what you came to do and you are in your service to humanity, whatever it is, the smallest examples of that. It doesn't have to be something huge. You don't have to be the CEO of a corporation. You can do it in small ways, just like I'm doing it. This is a small token of what I have come to share with the masses. Besides my breath work, besides my practical mysticism, besides what it is that I am here for, to show the way as far as what I understand so far. And what I understand is what I tell, people, the head of a pin. I mean, considering everything that's going on in the whole universe and what I know so far at this stage of the game, head of a pin. I don't take myself too seriously because it's ridiculous to do that. I mean, you're kidding yourself. That's the ego. So there's going to be a lot of that going away. You're going to be faced with, okay, where am I going to go? Am I going to go with my heart and my light and my love, or am I going to go with my ego and my shadow? Pisces contains it all, and it's not just Saturn. Mercury's there too, the Sun's there too, Neptune's there too, Venus is there too. There is a lot going on astrologically. And, in the next couple of weeks, Pluto will be moving into Aquarius. Whoa! Yikes! Talk about hitting the fan. Yes, that will be the time. Big time. But this is like preparing you. So get your ducks in a row. Look at yourself. Go within. Pisces is about going within. Take a good, hard, long look at what you're propagating out in the world. What do you stand for? Really. Not your blah, blah, blah. But what are you walking? You can have all the spiritual words, but if you're walking it like treating people like dirt, treating people that are the closest to you, that love you the most, like dirt, not talking to them, not being involved with them because they don't fit into your idea of how they should be, you need to take a look at that. And you need to decide, am I going to keep doing this? Am I going to keep this shite show going? So, take a look at what's happening for you right now in your life. See where you can make the changes that you need to make. And trust that you will be shown and given the tools that you need to get through this. Biggest tool I know, the breath. The conscious, connected, holy breath. That will get you through because it will let go of the past. It clears the emotional body where all the trauma you've ever had is held. Get rid of that. Let that go so you can move all the power that you have in the past into the present, which is where we're going to need it and where you're going to need it. Okay? So, that's my 2 cents for today. Thank you for joining me. Be back in, a couple of weeks for the new moon and probably Pluto going into Aquarius. Yikes. All right, my friends. Om Namah Shivaya. In Lakach. Namaste. El Kalimo. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great full moon in Virgo. And take a look at what's happening for reals. All right? Thank you. And I'm trying to, find the little cursor there. Oh, there it is. Okay. Thanks. Bye for now.